going all in. Get him through out, yeah, you can bring a friend. Dive right in, let's go. Move forward and dip in your toes. Let the rhythm take control. It's going down tonight, yeah. Dive right in, let's go.
Hey guys, what's going on, everybody? This is Dane from NYY News TV. I'm here with Carlos. This is the Heat Sheet Podcast. Carlos, I feel like I haven't seen you in a couple of weeks, bud. How are you?
It definitely does feel that way. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, we've had some exciting stuff happen since you and I have been missing schedule-wise. So let's talk about some promotions that happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the biggest name, it's probably Augustin Rameriz finally got promoted. Well, he got promoted to Somerset, was just a little surprising. I mean, I know he was tearing up that league. I was just
really surprised.
There. Yeah, I was too. I mean, I know he's been tearing up that league. He hit, I think, 415 was the player of the month in I think it's the SAL league. So it was a little surprising, but you know, it's definitely earned. Definitely earned.
Absolutely. 102 at-bats, 27 games, and 19 extra base hits. I mean, the kid just absolutely tore the cover off the ball.
He tore through that league. Yep.
And strikeout rate was below 20%. I mean, there's not much about that profile that you can say you can't get excited about the future for.
Yep, another one of those 20-year-old kids. There's a lot of them in the system, but one of the guys that makes a lot of not only a lot of contact, but loud contact as well.
Loud contact. And then a guy that should have gotten bumped up probably 6 weeks ago got bumped, Jared Serna.
Finally. He hit me up. He was so excited. I was just excited for him. I'm like, bro, I've been wanting this for you for so long. So it was great news, and I'm really happy for him. I can't wait to see what he does.
I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. We had some kids from Tampa go up.
There was a lot of movement this past week. I think Tampa they moved up. Sean Herman got moved up, pitched yesterday.
Had a strong game.
He did really good debut for him. And I want to say Baron Stewart. Stewart might have been from FCL to Tampa.
I think he went to Tampa.
Yeah. Actually, no, it wasn't Baron Stewart. Damn, I can't remember who it was now.
No worries.
It was Sean Herman, and who was the other guy? I can't remember now.
No worries.
But yeah, there was definitely a lot of movement. You had, like you said, Jared Serna. You have Cole Ayers also got the bump. Anthony Hall is also moving on. You have Jesus Rodriguez as well. We'll see what else happens. But there's a couple more guys are moving on the way. Actually, Jared Wegner, I believe, is rumored to be heading to Hudson Valley as well.
Now, are you surprised about anybody that has yet to be called up that really looks like they should have been?
I think everyone immediately asked me as soon as I posted yesterday. As soon as I tweeted yesterday, everyone was asking. The number one question was, well, what about Thorpe? I have no answers for Thorpe. I don't know. I mean, we've spoken about this before. He should have been up, like you said, 6-8 weeks ago.
Yeah. But the one thing that we talked about offline is he's getting close to an innings cap. He's already over his amount that he threw last year in college. They usually try not to go over that much than 25-30%. Chase Hampton's also getting real close to that same pitching level. It wouldn't surprise me if they piggybacked off each other in Double-A for the rest of the year.
That's a thought. That's one of the things that I was thinking of, that maybe Drew hadn't gotten the bump because they were going to move him as soon as Hampton hit his cap, which I'm not sure how many. I think he has maybe 2 games left before he hits that cap.
It's only 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, so my thinking was maybe that's when Drew will get the bump, and then actually, like you said, maybe they'll start doing the piggybacking off of them. You know, each of them throw 3 innings or something like that.
Yeah. Now, the big story since we taped last has been Jason Dominguez and what he has done to turn it around. I know Jason is your boy. I'm a big fan, but I want you to tell us all about this. So tell us what he's done, take his batting average from 190 to 238.
I mean, I think just before June ended, he was hitting, I would say, around 188, 189. It was just something that it was a bit shocking, to be honest. I mean, I still have faith in the guy. I'm still a president of his fan club, but it was definitely a little bit shocking. But you know, looking forward, he had a great July. He ended the month hitting 297, I believe. And he's gone right into August hitting 400 so far.
Yeah.
So since July 1st, he's been hitting 317 with a 394 on base. He's got 8 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs, 15 stolen bases. The walk rate is about 11%, and the K rate, he's brought it down a little bit over that time frame to 23%.
And those numbers are starting to look respectable for the year. That's how hot he's been for the last 5-6 weeks.
Yeah, I think he finished last night hitting 238, and for me, if he hits 250, it was a successful season. Because as I've said before, all the other numbers look good. The only ones that I had an issue with a low batting average, and of course the strikeout rate, which he is bringing down slowly. But he's really hot right now. I'm hoping it continues, and my thinking is if he finishes above 250, he's had a successful season.
I think he's on a very similar path that Anthony Volpe was at this time last year. I think that this is when Volpe got really hot. He got a bump up to AAA about the middle of August. Pereira is already at AAA, and they're talking about bringing him up. I think when Pereira goes up, Jason goes up, Jones goes up, it's going to be a domino effect throughout the system.
Yeah, and I was thinking yesterday, you might see like you said, a domino effect with the Anthony Hall promotion, because I'm thinking if Hall goes up, then maybe Spencer Jones moves up as well, Jason Dominguez moves up as well, and then Everson Pereira moves up as well. That's my hope. That is my hope. And I've been saying this for weeks now. Everson is hot. I think last week he hit almost 400. All he's done since he's gotten to AAA is hit. And I know
he's just throwing the cover off the ball.
Yeah, but the K rate is what the K rate is. I think it's at like 30%. And he's not walking much either. But one thing that I looked at, or I saw someone mention on Twitter the other day, and I was like, that makes sense. That he could be like an Alfonso Soriano type of guy, right? Where the K rate is what the K rate is, but he's gonna rake.
Yeah, I think he is, because if you look at every level that he has gone up, when he's been healthy, he's produced at an unbelievable rate. The only thing that's been the question has been his health. I think that if he stays healthy, he is a legitimate future all-star. I don't know if he's going to be a perennial all-star, but I think he's got an all-star ceiling 1 or 2 years in him. He's going to be a good player. It just depends on the health.
He could be one of those guys that's like with a franchise for 10 years. You don't necessarily have to be an all-star, but you can be a guy that produces year in and year out. You're reliable, you're consistent for a decade, and teams love that.
Brett Gardner.
That's the guy I was thinking of. I think he made 2 all-stars in 12, 14 years, something like that. But that's the guy that's with the team for a decade and plays well when he called upon. I much rather see Everson than trading for some of these cast-offs. I'm not a huge fan of some of the guys that were rumored for trades, but it is what it is.
I'm so much happier that they decided to hold on to Pereira than trade for a guy like Carlson or some of those guys that I just didn't see the upside over Everson. Just didn't make any sense.
I don't get why I would want to trade for like a 230 hitter. And I know that a lot of fans are, they're more impressed by OPS and as opposed to like batting average and on base.
I'm
not fully sold on that. Like batting average matters to me. Batting average still matters to me. Just because a guy's hitting 230, but he's getting on base at like a 380 or 360 clip, that's nice. But I need a guy that's going to put the ball in play, because things happen when you put the ball in play.
Aaron Judge said it last year, batting average is king. I agree with him.
Yeah. The goal every season should be to hit 300.
And there's only, 13 or 14 guys in the entire Major League Baseball that are hitting over 300?
Yeah, and it made me, now that you mentioned that, I think about that video that I think it was that you retweeted, the Alex Rodriguez thing with the uppercut swing. I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense.
So let's jump into AAA, what you saw there, who your players of the week were.
At AAA, I have Everson Pereira. hitting 391, 444 on base, 2 extra base hits, 5 RBIs. I also had Oswaldo Peraza hitting 360, 414 on base, 3 extra base hits, a home run, 5 RBIs, and Chaparro hit 263 with a 796 OPS, a home run, 3 RBIs, 4 walks. Oswald was my player of the week there this week.
I got a question about a couple of those guys for you.
Mhm.
Were you surprised that Chaparro or Peraza were not traded?
Oh, absolutely. I was surprised that a few people weren't traded. Guys that we all deemed that the organization said, yeah, these guys are not part of the future. Like, I don't understand why Florial is still here. It's like I don't understand it. You won't play him, but yet you don't want anybody else to have him.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And it's the same thing with Chaparro. He's going to be a minor league free agent this winter.
Yep.
Why not get something for him if you refuse to give him a shot?
Yeah, those were guys that I definitely saw being moved. Like I said, Florial was one of them. Chaparro was the other one. I even thought that maybe Jesus Bastidas might get moved, and maybe either Vasquez or Brito. But instead, they moved one of the best young arms in the system for a guy that you can pick up as a free
for $3
agent,
million next year,
maybe even less, maybe in a minor league deal. That move made absolutely no sense to me.
I know. I saw that and I went, "Oh my gosh, Los is gonna just lose his mind when he."
For me, I think he was the second or third most exciting starting pitcher in the system. I just don't get it. I don't get it. The move made absolutely no sense whatsoever. And then you want to tell me that you're not waving the flag, you're still in it. There's still a chance, and I'm just looking at your roster going,
"No,
why?
There's not.
Why?"
Yeah.
This is not a World Series caliber team. I'm sorry, unfortunately, it is not. And this move makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah,
I mean, ridiculous.
And with Peraza, they have destroyed his trade value so much that he better be part of their future plans, because they're not going to get much of anything for him with the way that they've treated him.
Mm-hmm.
Why would somebody give up one of their top assets when he wasn't good enough to start over Josh Donaldson or anyone else all year?
I want to imagine that other GMs and other front offices are smart enough to know that the Yankees didn't play Peraza because they have Josh Donaldson making $26 million or whatever it is. I want to believe that they're smart enough to know that that's why he wasn't getting his opportunities.
Oh, I'm sure they'll believe that. But when it comes to an asking price, why would you pay?
Right. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. The asking price. Yeah. I don't have an answer for it. I don't have an answer for it, because to me, Josh Donaldson should have never been on this team going into the season. No. I mean, he was terrible last season. He's a year older. How in the world did you expect better?
Yeah. Sorry, jump off track there, but we didn't get a chance to recap the trade deadline, so I wanted to ask you about that. What do we have for pitching in AAA?
Randy Vasquez had an amazing game this week. 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 11 strikeouts, 1 walk. You'd love to see that from him. I mean,
I hope he comes up and takes Severino's spot or somebody's.
I was gonna say I don't know if it really how much it matters what he does down here, because when he's pitching at the major league level, he has produced every single outing. I mean, right now he should be in the rotation.
Yeah,
he should 100%. Be in the rotation right now. I don't know what's going on with Rodon. I thought he was going for an MRI. I don't know what that means.
He had a leg cramp, and they're just running imaging just to make sure it's not worse.
Yeah, but the way that the front office or the medical staff here work, that's probably gonna be like 3 weeks. He's gonna be out.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows? Who knows? It just those things just never seem to surprise me or work out right. It's always a thing. So who knows? But I would definitely think he should be in the rotation, and we'll see if that's what happens going forward. You also had Clayton Beeter, who had a nice bounce back game this week. He threw 6 innings, 1 run, no walks, 7 Ks. I mean, the game before that, he got completely blown up. I think he gave up like 10 runs, something like that. I don't know what the purpose in that is. Probably just to get his work in. But it was a bad outing for him, so it's nice to see him bounce back this week.
Yes, it was.
You have Will Warren. He threw 6 innings, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 K. So that's another nice outing for Warren. And those are the only 3 guys that I noted this week. I had Randy Vasquez, obviously, as the pitcher of the week at Scranton.
Yeah. You know, I don't think that they're going to make a run that gets them very far in the playoffs. But if they get to August or September and they're close to a wild card spot, I'd like to see Will Warren come up in a bullpen role.
Mhm.
He's got.
I mean, that used to be the template, right? That used to be the way they did it, right? I remember Severino was in the bullpen. I remember Phil Hughes was in the bullpen. Java
Phil
was in the
Hughes
bullpen.
was a big part of that World Series team in that 7th, 8th inning role.
Was that the year that he was in the bullpen?
Yes, in 09.
I think he went to the All-Star game that year, no?
He did.
I think he did. Yeah, he was phenomenal in that role. And I remember, like I said, a lot of the starting pitching prospects was the way that they earned their bones, right? Put them in the bullpen for a few games, maybe half a season, see how it works out, and then they get pushed to the rotation.
Still how Tampa does it.
Yeah, but Tampa's just operates at a different level.
That's true.
But yeah, I could definitely see that for Will Warren, even for Clayton Beater. I thought these would be good. These, in my opinion, were better options than trading for fledgling reliever. So
yeah. Why not give Yoendry Gomes a shot in the bullpen?
Or that. I'm sure he could come up right now. He pitched very good in spring training. He's already on the 40-man roster.
Speaking of Double-A.
Mm-hmm.
So at Double-A, Jason was obviously a flat stud last week.
Mm-hmm.
What were his numbers like?
He had 400, 483 on base, 1183 on OPS, 3 extra base hits, a home run, 4 RBIs, 4 walks, 4 stolen bases. Started off August really hot, which is coming off of a great July for him.
Yeah, it's great to see him finally showing what we had hoped he had seen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who else was at Double-A?
Going on to the pitching, he was the only hitter to note. Going on to pitching, you had Richard Fitz, who threw 7 shutout innings, 5 Ks. You have Danny Watson, who continues to be a great weapon out of the bullpen.
I think he's going to be in the
3 innings.
I think he's going to have a shot to be in our bullpen next year.
He's been phenomenal. He has been phenomenal. And you also had Tanner Myatt, who pitched 2 2/3 shutout innings, 3 strikeouts.
I was hoping to see a little bit more from him this year. He was really promising last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still got time, obviously, but he's been surpassed by the Jack Neely's, the Danny Watsons, the Luis Vasquez's.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, in Hudson Valley, what did we have down there?
Hudson Valley, you had Christopher Familia, who just seems to be on a roll right now. He had 293 last week. 294 with a 980 OPS, 2 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 2 RBIs. I think he had back-to-back games with those home runs.
He did. He and August did.
And you had Augustin, who also hit 286, 2 extra base hits, 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. The kid is an RBI machine as well.
He is.
And I'm happy for him moving forward. And those are the only 2 hitters that I noted at Hudson Valley this week.
Pitching-wise,
Brock Selvich was my pitcher of the week. 7 in the third, 2 runs, 5 Ks. You also had Baron Stewart, who went 6 shutout innings with 5 Ks. Sean Herman made his debut last night. He went 5 innings, 1 run, 5 Ks. It was a very good debut for him, especially coming off of what he was doing at Tampa. He had some issues down there, let's just say.
Yeah.
You also had Brendan Beck, another 4 shutout innings, 4 Ks. He just continues to march forward. I can't wait to take those cuffs off of him.
Yes.
And Leo Pastana, who was promoted recently from Tampa, he went 3 2/3 shutout innings, 5 Ks. You had Jack Neely, who did 3 1/3, 4 Ks, and Harrison Cohen, who did 3 innings, 4 Ks.
Pitching.
Yeah, the pitching was phenomenal this week for Hudson Valley.
Hudson Valley has had the best pitching there all year that I've seen out of a single minor league team in a long time.
Definitely.
The arms that they have there now and that have been there earlier in the year is just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
So let's jump to Tampa. Jared Serna got the bump. How was his week?
Jared Serna this week hit 333, 375 on base, 908 OPS, 4 extra bases, a home run, 5 RBIs, 2 walks. My player of the week down in Tampa was Omar Martinez, who has just been locked in for over a month now. He hit 435 with 500 on base, 1457 OPS, 4 extra base hits, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, 3 walks.
And three
He's
of those
another.
home runs came in one game.
Yes, yes, yes. He's
Yeah.
another guy that I was thinking it's about time for him to get that bump to Hudson Valley. I can't remember who's catching there now. Well, we have Rafael Flores and Antonio Gomez.
Right.
You have also Jesus Rodriguez, who had a good week, 333, 500 on base, an extra base hits, 5 RBIs. He was also recently promoted. He was promoted last night. And you have a recent kid, Josh Moylan. He hit 300, 1062 OPS, an extra base hit, a home run, 2 RBIs, 3 walks.
He was a kid that was drafted this year that they were really excited about. Yeah.
Pitching wise, you had Justin Lang, who has now back-to-back very good outings. He went 5 innings. Didn't give any earned runs with 8 Ks. You had Hayden Murta, 5 2/3, 2 runs, 8 Ks, and Yorlin Calderon, who I don't know why he's still in Tampa. He went 4 2/3, 1 run with 4 strikeouts.
Now, going back to Lang for a second, you've watched him as much as anybody that I know. He can be flat and dominant for a couple innings and then completely lose it. He's got some of the best stuff around, and then he can't find the strike zone. Is it just consistency that he's looking for? Does he need more command? Is it the release point that's unequal or inconsistent? I mean, what is your opinion on why he's so all over the board?
I don't know, because like you said, he has all the tools, right? And he can blow hitters away at times. We've seen him do 10 strikeouts a few times this season, but then he just loses it. Command is not there. So for some games, I don't know exactly what it is. I think he had the same issue in San Diego.
He did.
But it's like he's so promising, and it's like he's right there, and you think he's turned the corner, and then he goes and gives you a 5-walk game, and he hits 3 batters as well.
Yeah.
I hope the Yankees can fix it. I don't know, maybe a reduction in velocity. I don't know.
They've already tried that though. He was more upper 90s with San Diego.
Like 98 plus. He was like 98 plus, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't get a read on him because sometimes he's so good and other times that command goes.
You're like, what the hell's going on, man?
You're like, is this a high school kid pitching to these kids or what?
It's just because he'll have like a good 3-game stretch, and then all of a sudden it's just 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like, what happened here? It's very frustrating. I don't understand it. I mean, we have seen this before, but like I said, he has all the tools. He can blow past hitters anytime, but then just every so often he just loses it.
Yeah. Now getting to the FCL, we had some really good performances there over the last couple of weeks.
You had Emmanuel Sahara. He hit 462, 1101 OPS, an extra base hits, 2 walks, 2 steals. That was my player of the week. Then you had the recent Puerto Rican kid that they drafted, Wilson Rodriguez. He hit 364, 632 on base, 2 extra base hits, 6 RBIs, 2 walks. You also had Dylan Jasso. He hit 364, 1177 OPS, 2 extra base hits, 3 RBIs, 7 walks. And Cole Gabrielson hit 308, 500 on base, 2 extra base hits, a home run, 4 RBIs, and a walk.
Some solid kids down there. Now we heard that. Well, we won't get into that just yet. Now let's do the DSL.
Before we get, just want to mention Jordan Mendoza had his best game of this season so far.
Yes,
he threw 5 shutout innings, no walks, no hits, 7 strikeouts. Phenomenal game from him. You also had Henry Lalane, who did 3 innings. He gave one run, 8 strikeouts. And Jackson Fristow, 3 innings, 3 shutout innings with 3 strikeouts, who I think might be the next guy to go to Tampa.
Probably. It probably should be Lalane, but Bristow's a little older.
He's older. I don't know how many games Lalane has had this season. I want to say 4. I want to say, because remember, he started the season late.
That's true. So DSL.
You had Luis Ogando, probably my player of the week down there. He hit 400 with 1100 OPS, 2 extra base hits, 3 RBIs. You had Brandon Mae, who probably had his best week in a while. He hit 389, 450 on base, 950 OPS, an extra base hit, 3 RBIs, 3 steals. And you had the lone lone player on the two DSL teams who made the All-Star. Josue Gonzalez, the catcher, Venezuelan catcher, he hit 300 with an extra base hits, 5 RBIs. On the pitching side, you had Jerson Alejandro, 6 innings, 6 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts. You have Joshua Casella, who was also part of a no-hitter that they threw the last week. He went 6 innings,
right.
4 strikeouts.
Some good pitching at that level too.
And that reminds me, before we move on, Charlie Arias just was promoted to the FCL a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's been one of the
He's been one of the best pitchers in DSL this year.
Absolutely. He was in the mid-20s on our prospect list, and he had really, really started to break out when his ranking came out. He might have even have gone up a little bit since we made that, but he's been really good this year.
Right.
So, Willie Montero, John Cruz, what do we know about where they are right now?
I spoke to Willie Montero a couple of days ago, and he told me he was in DR. We didn't really get into why. I mean, at first he told me that they got demoted, and later on he was like, "I'm just joking. That didn't happen." But yeah, we're here in DR. I don't know exactly why that is. And I don't want to get into asking them why, because it could be personal.
No, I understand that. It's just so weird because they've been two of the better players at that level, and they're the youngest at that level.
Yep. I thought that Willie Montero was probably been the most consistent bat outside of Emmanuel Tejada on that team this season. He's just been day in and day out consistent.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they do with him. Anything else you want to get to?
No, I think those were the only guys.
All right. Well, guys, sorry that we've been away for so long. We'll be back next week as well. If you guys have any comments or questions, please leave them below, and we'll get to them for next week. Los, what do you got coming up the rest of this week?
Same thing as always, man, pumping out. Actually, I did want to mention that I was going to drop this week the next free agent class, the next IFA free agent class for the Yankees. So look for that this week.
Okay, that would be awesome. All right, guys, thanks for checking in. We'll see you next week.
All right, guys.
Later.